How's it going, YouTube? Today we're going to be watching a special video because this guy has not uploaded in like a year, I think. But we're going to be watching the Second Punic Wars by OverSimplified, Part 1. I almost started Part 2, but I've corrected the issue. I don't know much about the Punic Wars other than I think Hannibal is in it with his elephants, and it's in the thumbnail. So I think I'm right on that. But I'm excited. I am excited. I hope you're all excited too. But without further ado, let's get into the video, and remember to leave a like, leave a comment for any recommendations, and maybe come by the stream. All right, let's get into it.
This video was made possible by NordVPN. Click the link below and get an exclusive deal with 4
Let's see how his
months.
ad is.
Also, check out the merch store for some new character pins, the last remaining bucket plushies, and even a calendar. And I'm not done yet. We've partnered with U2s to bring you an exclusive oversimplified Roman consul figure. Get it while you can at oversimplified.u2s.com. But it's limited edition, so once it's gone, it's gone.
Everyone loves the limited edition stuff. It gets their FOMO going of like, oh, it's going to be gone? Well, I have to buy it. Maybe I wouldn't have bought it, but now that they said that it might be gone soon, I got to buy it. But it is cute, so maybe I'll buy it. Go support the channel. Go support the channel.
So go and buy it now. Hey, what are you still doing here? I said go and buy it now!
Immediately after.
All right, our beloved mercenaries. Let's hear it. Okay, thank you one and all for your hard work fighting in the First Punic War. Would have been nice if you'd won, maybe.
I like how he says the First Punic War, because that means there's a second one coming. What does he know?
Tried a little harder, but this isn't the finger-pointing convention. I know you all have one thing on your minds. Hey, when are we all getting paid? Remember you lost your... Okay. Jim, why don't you tell them? I'm not telling them, you tell them. Ugh.
All right, I can already tell where this is going. They're not going to pay the mercenaries. It's the age-old tradition of, nope, let's just not pay the people that fought for us and died for us and bled for us and lost limbs for us. And the people, you know, that have weapons and are willing to use them. Let's not. Have you watched the first one? I watched it, like, when it first came out. I need to rewatch it because I don't think I remember what happened all that much.
Look, you're not getting paid.
I knew it.
We lost the First Punic War and owe the Romans a ton of reparations. Of course we can't pay you in full. Let's burn this place to the ground! Hey! Don't burn this place to the ground. Come on, fellas. Will killing us really make you feel better about your money? Yes. Way to go, sir. Shut up, Jim. You're fired. I guess that makes 2 of us. Huh?
Was he actually set on fire? Wait, was that real?
In the aftermath of the First Punic War, Carthage's disgruntled mercenaries, left unpaid for all their hard work, revolted, and Carthage found itself caught up in an extremely destructive mercenary war. The panicked Carthaginians hired more mercenaries to fight the mercenaries they couldn't afford to pay.
What? Wait. What? Yeah, wait, I was literally about to say, where'd this money come from? Wait, why would any mercenary take whatever it is that they're paying them? I wouldn't trust them. They have a bad credit score. No. This is bad business. If they don't have a good credit score and they don't pay on time like they should be, you shouldn't be doing business with them. These mercenaries are making bad business, almost as bad a business as some people within the United States of America. You know who I'm talking about.
And Carthage came dangerously close to collapse. All the while, across the water, there was Rome.
Italy.
Look at those morons. We just kicked their ass in the First Punic War, and now their own mercenaries are revolting. Haha, yeah. Wait, First Punic War?
Yep.
You mean there's gonna be a second one? Well, we're definitely taking advantage of this situation. So almost certainly, yes. The Romans did, in fact, take advantage of the situation. Amongst the chaos, rebels on the Carthaginian island of Sardinia sent out a cry for help to Rome. Hot diggity dog, said the Romans. That's free real estate. And so in they went. Whoa. That's our island. Get the hell off. Hey, they requested our help. We're simply helping. Oh, no, you don't. Look, we're sending our own army to deal with the rebels, okay? But just to be clear, we're not trying to start a fight with you, so, don't declare war on us or anything. War! We surrender! Great. And as part of the peace treaty, we get to keep these islands. The Carthaginians were hopping mad. As if their humiliating loss in the First Punic War wasn't bad enough, the Romans now took advantage of their mercenary problem and stole their islands. This shocking land grab was pretty hard to justify, even by Roman standards. Additionally, the Romans now demanded Carthage pay them even more money on top of what was already owed. If Rome was trying to make Carthage as mad as possible, they were doing a fantastic job. The seeds of a Second Punic War were being sown, and
So, I get that they want land on this, but usually, okay, Rome is probably one of the biggest powerhouses during his time, if not the biggest, obviously. But usually when you are going to be trying to get a land grab, you try to fabricate a claim of some kind of a reasoning behind it. Yeah, this one just seems very flimsy and whatnot. So, but I guess with how big of a power they were, they don't have to worry about other countries kind of coming in and going, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? What's to stop you from doing it to us? Yeah, but the politicians do not care. I get it. I get it. I get that they don't care, but they should care, right? I mean, other politicians, the Carthaginians, the other one, I already forgot, the people that they were fighting could easily go to other nations to see what they did here. They could easily do that to you. They could do that to you guys as well, and then boom, now they're taking your islands just like they took our islands. What's going to stop them from doing that? Not us, because they've already kicked our asses and we don't have much, and now they're trying to start a second war. I just don't. Even when you win a war, why are you so eager to go into another war? You got to recoup the troops, and people just remember what happened in the other war. What about your economies? Rome has a track record of politicians not giving a F and screwing things up. I mean, I guess that's all politicians. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
They were being watered with Carthaginian tears. Resentment in Carthage only continued to grow. Eventually, Carthage solved their mercenary problem thanks to Carthaginian military genius and hero of the First Punic War, Hamilcar Barca.
Oh, it's Hamilcar. I thought it was Hannibal. Damn it.
Out with some good old-fashioned atrocities, and the destructive mercenary war was over. Still, all was not well in Carthage. Mere decades ago, they were the top dogs in the Western Mediterranean. Now, after the crushing defeat in the First Punic War and a huge bill to pay the Romans, Carthage was well and truly under Rome's thumb. What on earth were they supposed to do? If they wanted any chance at regaining their former strength, there was one thing they needed now, more than anything: money. But as long as they owed Rome $1 bazillion, there was nothing they could do. Fortunately for them, amongst their ranks, there was one big hunk of a man with one big clump of a brain. Me! Hamilcar Barca! Yes! Wait, why do you all have the exact same voice? I have it too! That's right. Hero of the First Punic War, greatest general alive, and the poster above my bed.
Oh my god, you could grade cheese on those. Look at those abs. How buff were people back there, Also, why have I never heard of Hamilcar before? I've heard of Hannibal. Isn't it Hannibal, or is this like his dad or something? I feel like I'm watching an actual TV show right now of oh dude, this is like the backstory to the guy that you know with the elephants. Cause that's a thing, right? Spoilers? Okay, don't tell me. Also it kind of looks like he has half a scissors for his sword. Is that just me? But whatever. He also doesn't have individual legs. He just has one big leg. I like it. I love the art style. He's gotten so good at drawing people's faces, but I have no idea if this is what this guy looked like, but he looks hot as fuck.
Hamilcar Barca had an idea. All right.
I have not seen that story.
Well, I've got one word for you. Spain. An area filled with lucrative silver mines, from which the silver would flow like a river. And
oh, is this around the time, or is this what led to, what was it, the I don't know if this is the technical term for it, but like the Islamic invasion of Spain. Because I know that that happened at a point where a majority of Spain was taken over, not taken over, but they were invaded and had their land occupied by like Islamic settlers or Islamic travelers that went up through Spain. Is this what like led to it, or is this a completely different thing and it's just another time that people are invading Spain? Spain is just a very easy place to invade from Africa up to Europe because there's just a little bit of water right there. Little bit of waters. Turks at the time. Oh, okay, it was the Turks that did it, but this is probably not related to that, I'm guessing. Okay. Very interesting to see. Like, it's just Spain, you got to block off that that little canal right there. You got to make sure that it's defended because it's way too easy for people to get it there. I'm off by 300 years. Man, Spain just can't catch a break.
Our pockets would be stuffed, like Tony's mother at a buffet. Hey, so here's my proposal. What the hell? You send me with an army to Spain. I'll expand our territory, get those silver mines up and running, and we'll be able to pay the Romans back in no time. Okay, but just to check, you're not secretly raising the money to go on a bloodthirsty revenge spree against Rome, are you? Because we can't afford that. Hanno, my dear, I'm simply going to pay them back. Well, that wasn't reassuring. Few in Carthage were as bitter about their loss in the First Punic War as Hamilcar Barca. 98% of his brain matter had been reallocated to thoughts of revenge.
I'm going to guess he kills them,
Carthaginian
or kills a lot of people.
For what he deemed a cowardly betrayal when they surrendered at the end of the last war. And so for Hamilcar, going to Spain meant being able to act independently from the weak Carthaginian government, building his own strength, and then perhaps somewhere down the line, revenge.
Hey, they didn't have oil back then. They didn't have gasoline. Wow. Unrealistic. Unrealistic. I'm starting to think that the people back then didn't look like they were weird little chibi models that are adorable yet also really cool. I'm starting to question this.
However, he was...
Wait, they had oil? Well, not like gasoline oil or the ones that they put in those red little tins. You know what? Not the oil that they use, you know. Not that stuff. I meant the ones they had to, what do you call it? You had to filter and you had to distillate and whatnot. Yeah, the olive oil. They had olive oil. Rave playing. I'm not playing video games while we're watching. This is my fidget spinner. This is my emotional support controller.
Wasn't going to Spain by himself. Hannibal? Yes, father? Would you like to come with me to build an empire in Spain? Oh boy, would I! Barbara, mind if I take our 9-year-old son with me? I want to implant an intense hatred of Rome in him and prepare him for a glorious campaign of vengeance. Just try not to traumatize him, dear. No promises. The young boy Hannibal would accompany his father. Watching, learning. Boy, you see that city over there? Yes, father? That is Rome. Do you know what we do to Romans? No, father. We hate them, Hannibal. We hate them with every fiber of our being. But why, father? Can't I just play with my Digimons?
No, Digimon!
They took everything from us.
He instantly made me love Hannibal way more than I thought I was going to because he plays with Digimon instead of Pokemon. I'm sorry, but Digimon are just cooler. Pokemon might have better video games, but Digimon have guns. Digimon digivolve into things with armor, and they like become giant. It's awesome. Hannibal is a sympathetic character now. I feel so bad for him. Fuck Rome. I hate Rome too. With this one line, I now hate Rome. He didn't see all of Italy from the fact check. He didn't see all of Italy from that cliff top. Oh my god, unrealistic. But he did play with Digimon though, right? He did play with Digimon. That's factually correct.
Our land, our wealth, our pride. Those animals. I'll tear them limb from limb.
I bet they don't even like Digimon over there.
City to the ground. Dad? I'm sorry, son. I've just never been so proud. Keep going. I'll slaughter their people. I'll cut off their faces and wear them as masks. I love you, son. After taking Hannibal to the Temple of Baal and having him swear an oath never to be a friend of Rome, off Dad and son went for their lovely beach holiday in Spain. But Spain was already inhabited by many tribespeople, and when Hamilcar suddenly showed up in their territory, they were like, "Hey, who the hell are you? What are you doing here? I'm teaching my son how to become a warrior like me." Aw, well that's sweet. Well then, little guy, let's see what you got.
Oh my god.
Good boy. As Hamilcar got to work fighting the tribes of Iberia and expanding Carthaginian influence, Hannibal became a child of war, even earning battle scars from a young age. And he grew to become a great military leader.
Okay, like, how do you take a kid into battle and not have them die? How is that not an easy target? Did they follow like the rules of convention that I know that they had during like the Revolutionary War in America, where it's like, oh yeah, that's like the commander, you can tell based off of what they're wearing. So like, don't kill that guy with like a cheap shot. Don't go for that. You got to kill everything else and whatnot first before you go after the commander and stuff like that. Ever tried to teach a kid to ride a bike like that? Oh my God. Did he get training wheels? Ugh. I forgot that the Celts used to be in more places besides England before Rome and other empires wiped them out. Well, yeah, here they are, and they're getting wiped out by Hamilcar and Hamilton, and not Hamilton, Hannibal. I'm gonna call him Hannibal or Hamilton at some point by mistake. I already know it. But damn, imagine getting killed by like a 9-year-old or whatever the age he was. It's like, wow, I've been trained as a soldier for this army that I'm in. Oh shit, here comes a child dead. And they made him kill a cow, then people. Well, you got to start somewhere. You can't start with killing people. You got to kill a cow first. Then you work your way up to people and whatnot. But damn, how did he survive all of that? And look, he has the other half of his sword, of his dad's sword scissors.
Himself, making his father very proud. I love you so much, son. Dad, not in front of the enemy. You killed that guy so well, son. The Bark has successfully consolidated Carthaginian power, got those silver mines up and running.
Welcome back,
and we're
chat.
sending buckets of cash back to a money-starved Carthage. And symbolizing Carthage's regrowing strength, a beautiful new city would eventually be founded in Spain.
Wait, why didn't they take that little bit of land up there? Why are they ignoring that little bit right there? What is it? Is it icky? Does it have cooties? What's going? The one above Carthage. Or like New Carthage, way up there. They kind of ignored it like a little zit. Spoilers. What? Everything's a spoiler, and I love it. Even the little dot right there is spoilers.
New Carthage, with a magnificent palace at its center.
Is that elephant Fortnite dancing?
Back, baby! What in the name of Apollo is going on here? Ah, Romans! Flowing silver mines? Dancing elephants? What are you up to, Hamilcar? I'm simply gathering the money to pay you back. Oh, okay then. Or are you rebuilding strength to go on a bloodthirsty revenge spree? Like I said, Claudius, I'm simply trying to pay you back.
And then they kiss.
You guys are hugging. No, we're not. I was hugging. Hamilcar had practically carved out a kingdom for himself in Spain, free from the meddling Carthaginian politicians. His power was becoming immense. But Dad, yes, my son? I'm confused. Are we really simply paying the Romans back? We're not gonna go on a bloodthirsty revenge spree? Of course we are. I'm just saying that to get the Romans off our backs. Listen, here's the most important life lesson I have for you. Vengeance is everything.
Don't listen to him.
All-encompassing thirst for vengeance is great for your mental health.
No, it's not. Don't listen to him.
Still confused? No, I get it now. But what if the Romans find out what we're up to? They won't find out. Why? Well, Hannibal, because I use NordVPN.
I knew it. I knew it. Why did he become white? He shed his skin and he became the most white person ever.
I'm confused again. Do you like...
Oh, also, hang on. Does anyone else feel like, is that supposed to be a helmet for NordVPN on his head? Or is that like his hair? Because he kind of looks like a girl who just got in a bad breakup and decided, you know what? I don't need him. Cuts their hair, dyes their hair blue, and then is just walking around like that. Also, for some reason, they're naked. I don't know. It's supposed to be hair. It's the soul's shills. You know, they need the funding. He needs the funding.
Confused again. Do you like your computer being hacked, all your passwords being stolen, and used to create a fake virtual you who drains your mom's bank account? Me neither. And that's why I use NordVPN. These days, hackers are only getting smarter, while you're only getting dumber. Whether
Hey.
it's convincing phishing
Just because it's true
fake
doesn't mean you should
Wi-Fi
say
networks, or clicking your aunt's Facebook post that opens the door to a
And
hacker
yes,
party
we
on your
are
device,
watching the
you
ad
need to
because you
protect
know what?
yourself from
He
online
deserves it.
threats with
He deserves it. You can
NordVPN.
skip through the video if you don't want to watch the ad,
allows
I
you to
understand.
Connect to secure servers that encrypt your data and keeps you safe by blocking malicious websites with their threat protection feature. With NordVPN, you can also connect to other territories and take advantage of better deals or content not available in your country. And if you don't like
Well,
it,
Ryan, you're
it
here
comes with a
live.
30-day money-back
I don't know.
guarantee.
Play with a
So
fidget
go to
spinner.
nordvpn.com/oversimplified to get an exclusive deal with a huge discount and 4 extra months. That's nordvpn.com/oversimplified. And as always, you'll be supporting my channel. So thank you. Now,
Why does he have a
where were we?
bachelor rose?
Oh yeah. Carthaginian tears.
The damn fire alarm. Fucking fix it.
A child of war and the Carthaginian conquest of Spain. The Carthaginian recovery had been staggeringly quick, and Rome was seriously alarmed. But they were also preoccupied with ongoing wars elsewhere, including an expansionist war to the north, where they were enslaving thousands of northern Celts. So for now, to keep Carthage in
Some people pay good money to have a collar put on them. Those Celts should feel honored. Some people are really into that. Imagine if you didn't pay Rome. If they didn't pay Rome, I have no idea what would have happened. Do you think they could have just kicked the can down the road a little bit and used that money to just build up their army even more and then fight? Because this seems like a really, really good time to attack. They're already stretched thin by 2 other wars, so I'm feeling like they're going to be attacking soon. Because a nation swarmed by just endless war, endless amounts of war, you're going to be running yourself thin, you're going to be losing manpower, your economy is going to become very dependent upon war, which is only going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy of more war. So you can't, a country does not stand on war alone. And fuck Italy. Don't let the Italians know. Don't let the Italians know. They went from war to making spaghetti.
check. The Romans insisted on a new treaty. See this river?
No.
The two sides agreed that everything above it was in Rome's sphere of influence, while
Oh
beneath
my
it
god,
was
spheres of
Carthage.
influence.
Under no circumstances were the Carthaginians to expand north of that river. But for now, Hamilcar and son were living it up. Well, son, here's to
Oh, thank you
many
for the
more years
follow.
of successful campaigning in Spain. Now, if you'll excuse me, I just have to go fight those guys. See?
I thought that was a gun. I thought that guy had a rifle. I was like, wait, why does he have a fucking rifle? No, that's a spear. That's a spear. And I thought he was wearing like a World War II helmet. Oh my god, I had fucking whiplash right there. Wow. If a new faction came in with all their strength, or alone in a vacuum cleaner only with all their strength, I'm certain that would force their way in because they're so stretched thin. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, you can't, if you have too many war fronts, it's the same thing that happened within World War II, or even kind of World War I think, too, with, like, Germany being stretched thin by having a two-front war. They didn't want to have a two-front war in World War II, and then it's like, ooh, let's go to let's, only fight on one side, make a treaty with the Soviets. But then, oh no, they decided for some reason to break that treaty before they had already taken over on one front. I don't know why they did that. I'm sure they had their ideas and reasonings, but it seemed like a bad idea to me.
See you later, son. I love you.
He's gonna die, isn't? Yep.
What the?
Mufasa!
Oh, crap. I drowned? Oh, well. Always remember, son. You are vengeance.
He's Batman!
Also, delete my browsing history. Hamilcar Barca was tragically ambushed at a river and drowned. His son-in-law, and possibly also his lover, no further.
What? I have a lot of questions. Wait. His brother-in-law and also his lover. Damn, Thanksgiving dinners are gonna be awkward. Family gatherings are not gonna be very good over there when all that comes out to dry. Nope. I didn't realize that was Alabama.
questions, took charge for a while, but he too was later assassinated, leaving finally a 26-year-old Hannibal in charge of the Carthaginian armies in Spain. At 26-year-old
26 years old? Damn, he's accomplished more than me at 26.
Hannibal, in charge of the Carthaginian armies in Spain. Sources say the men readily accepted him as their leader. He chose to suffer the same hardships as his men. He lived in the same conditions, was often the first into battle and the last one out. And it also helped that he looked a lot like his dad. He had the total respect of his men. If he said jump, they said how high. If he said tuck me in, they said how tight. If he said talk to a girl without peeing your pants, they said that's impossible. Nobody can do that. An army that would follow him anywhere.
They're right.
Would be.
Have you ever tried to talk to a woman? It's terrifying. Women are the scariest thing on this planet. Men would rather go to war than have to talk to women about their feelings. It's true. It's true.
Crucial for exacting his vengeance against Rome. Hannibal's army had become a strong and loyal fighting force, and that
Why is the elephant my favorite character?
was making a certain nation very uncomfortable. Seeing Carthage re-strengthen so quickly was not something Rome had expected, yet here they were, paying off their debts and expanding their territory. It didn't feel very much like Carthage was under Rome's thumb at all, and Rome wanted to put an end to it. Tensions were strung tighter than your liar's G-string, and all it would take was one incident to trigger all-out war.
It's a fucking powder keg.
And in 219 BC, a city in Spain would find itself at the very center of that fateful incident.
Ah, there it is. There's the little dot. I knew that was gonna be important. Here comes that little speck over there that nobody wanted to touch for some reason. Time to find out what that means. See, look at that. I got an uncanny eye for attention to detail. I knew there had to be a reason. I knew there was a reason that they didn't highlight that.
Saguntum. Remember that treaty declaring everything south of this river to be Carthage's sphere of influence? Well, Saguntum should therefore obviously be Carthaginian.
Hey, Drago.
Wrong! Saguntum had actually scored itself an informal alliance with Rome, after Rome had helped it with an internal dispute. With Carthaginian encroachment, Saguntum began to fear for its independence, and Rome declared itself
so cute.
Saguntum's protector. But this clearly went against the Ebro River Treaty. So what on earth was Rome doing? Were the Saguntines and the Romans truly just BFFs?
Nah, they're friends with benefits. They get in deep, if you know what I mean. Nah, there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more. I bet they kiss with tongue. The Romans there, you know the Romans. We all know how the Romans acted. You know it's true.
It's possible. Or was Rome deliberately trying to interfere with Hannibal's Spanish expansion and maintain a staging post for a future war with Carthage? More likely. And Hannibal certainly viewed this Rome-Saguntum alliance as an outrage. Yet another example of Roman arrogance. At first, he left Saguntum alone. But having learnt from his father to hate all things Roman, and having inherited his father's dream of bringing Rome to its knees more and more.
Is that a 40-year-old virgin joke? Is that a reference to the 40-year-old virgin, or is that just a weird torture technique? I feel like while he was making this, he watched the 40-year-old virgin, and he was like, you know what? Put that in the video.
More, Hannibal may have begun to see Saguntum as an opportunity. Could this controversial alliance be just what devilish little Hannibal needed to kickstart
he's the
war
Grinch.
with Rome and restore Carthaginian dominance? It's even possible that Rome were also using Saguntum to goad Hannibal into a fight, so they could go and kick him out of Spain. And as the two giants began gearing up for round two, the poor people of Saguntum had no idea that they were about to be crushed in the collision. Hey, your alliance with Saguntum is an insult, and we won't stand for it. They're our friends, Hannibal, and if you lay a finger on them, it'll be an act of war. Yeah, Hannibal, back the hell off. War,
Oh my
I
God.
was thinking I might just besiege their city and massacre their people. I hope you do, Hannibal. Find out what happens. Yeah, we hope you do, Hannibal. Wait, what? Maybe I will. Go ahead, kill them all.
They just need to fuck already. Like, the sexual tension between these two is palpable. You'd cut it with a knife.
Okay then, fine. Okay, guess I'll do just that. Consul, we look forward to it. Consul, you're gonna protect us though, right, Consul? Consul! Oh no! To top it all off, when the Saguntine people made the genius decision of raiding into Carthaginian territory, enough was enough. In an action that was guaranteed to
there's gonna be some
Romans
fucking
into
right
war,
now.
Hannibal besieged the city. The siege of Saguntum lasted 8 cruel months before Hannibal broke through the city defenses and turned Saguntum into a killing field.
Oh my god.
It was a massacre. What the hell? Tell me I didn't just catch you massacring our friends, the Sugantes. Well, Consul, if you like the Sugantes so much, perhaps you should sug on these nuts.
Oh my god.
Hearing word of the attack on Saguntum, Rome was understandably in an uproar, and all eyes were now fixated on what would happen next, as Rome sent a delegation to Carthage, led by one of the most highly esteemed Roman senators, Fabius.
Dislike the video just for the D's nuts joke. No. Honestly, he got me with that one. Usually I can see the D's nuts jokes coming a mile away. Didn't see that one coming. Also, I love how his name is Maximus. Makes me think of like Dickius Maximus, whatever that joke is from like the Monty Python video.
Maximus. He demanded an answer for Hannibal's sins. All right, listen up, scum. You've got a rogue general in Spain attacking a Roman ally. What are we supposed to do about it? Well, there shouldn't have even been a Roman ally in Spain. You're the aggressor here. Hand Hannibal over to us as a criminal so we can punish him severely. No, yes, no, no. Look, I hold in the folds of my toga both peace and war. Which one should I let drop?
What why does this sound oddly sexual? Like, it sounds like he's about to disrobe. He's like lifting up his skirt. I'm sure he said that. This sounds like an actual quote. But it doesn't sound as hardcore as he thinks it does. Because it does. It's weird. Like, I get what he's going with. But that's the equivalent of like, hey, I got two pennies, one in my left hand, one in my right hand. One of them's for war, one of them's for peace. Which penny do you want me to drop? That's the equivalent of what he's saying, but he's trying to sound all elegant because he's wearing a toga.
Whichever one you want, then I choose.
Oh my god. That's a war boner.
The Second Punic War had begun. Pack it up, boys. We've got them. We already destroyed these clowns once, and we were the underdogs. Now, we're the overdogs? Hot dogs. Exactly.
Hot dogs.
This is gonna be easy. Here's the plan. Consul Longus, you take your army and sail straight for Carthage. Burn that city to the ground. And Consul Scipio, you just head on over to Iberia and make sure this Hannibal guy doesn't do anything crazy. I mean, what's he gonna do? Cross the Alps?
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, doesn't Hannibal makes it to... Okay, I don't know the lore, the history lore of the Punic Wars, the Second Punic Wars, as well as I should. But if I'm not mistaken, what I think happens is that Hannibal literally does cross the Alps with some war elephants, and I think he eventually even makes it to Rome, and then I think he's like about to win, and then like another like more reinforcements come to Rome out of nowhere that he wasn't expecting. I think that's what happened. I could be wrong. Oh, and VT, why the AI isn't speaking? I turned it off for the video. That's why.
We're going to what? Cross the Alps.
They never expected.
We're going to what? I just told you, Hannibal will freeze to death. Trust me, Jerome. The Romans are expecting us to fight the same way we did last time, passively, taking no initiative. They think it's gonna be easy. So this time, I
wouldn't say it's gonna be easy.
We have to go on the attack. It sickens me to say this, but this time, we have to be a little more Roman. You mean we're gonna take poops and baths together? But I'm insecure about my hairy legs. No, I'm saying this time, we're gonna take the fight to them. Think about it. Rome thinks they're simply going to invade us and win the war. So when they suddenly find themselves being invaded from the north, they'll freak out. Like Tony's mother, when the buffet runs out of shrimp. Hey! I got to admit, it's actually kind of genius. And my hairy legs will insulate me from the cold. That's the spirit. Hannibal, you have my sword, and my spear, and my legs.
What the fuck?
Hannibal's plan, a daring alpine trek to surprise the Romans, was a bold but risky strategy. If it paid off, he could catch the Romans with their pants
No
down, but he
pants
could also
party.
end up losing a ton of men and supplies in the hostile mountain conditions. Nevertheless, in 218 BC, with a fire in his eyes and some vengeance in his belly, Hannibal brought his force of almost 100,000 men across the Ebro River. They spent months on the road, trekking through the cold, hostile mountain conditions. And when they finally reached the other side, they said, "Hooray! We did it! We crossed the Alps." No, those were the Pyrenees. Those are the Alps.
Oh shit. The Charlie Brown cry. Oh, that's adorable. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be like the Peanuts. What? Okay. I get that the technology was not as advanced as it is right now, but why didn't the Romans like send scouts? Like, they know that that's a front. I don't care how unlikely it is. Don't you want to know where their armies are going? Shouldn't they be wondering like where the hell they did? Shouldn't they know that the invasion's coming and be like, okay, they're trying to cross the Alps. It may be unlikely, but we need to be prepared. Need to be ready just in case. Or even if it's not going to be, strike them when they're at their weakest. Like, oh, they're trying to go up the Alps. I bet they're tired. I bet their supplies just running low. And we really want to kill this Hannibal guy. Even if they don't make it here, maybe they'll turn around. We got to get this guy. Because that'll be a big blow for the future. Why didn't they do that? I'm no military general, so I'm not getting paid the bucks to figure this out. But, you think somebody would have done something. This seems like a pretty easy target for them to go for. Although I guess they would have to cross the Alps. They could be waiting at the end just in case. No, and there is just the better thing that they could, the best thing you ever seen. You going back? No, I'm down. That's good.
After crossing the Pyrenees, the army then had to pass through southern Gaul, a vast territory filled with tribespeople, many of whom were hostile to Hannibal's presence. His journey to the Alps was an ordeal in itself, as he was forced to fight his way through and incurred pretty hefty losses before even reaching the mountains. His plan was almost stopped in its tracks entirely, as the Roman consul Scipio, on his way to Iberia, discovered Hannibal was right on his doorstep.
Oh shit.
Suddenly, Hannibal's journey became a race, as he rushed to get his massive army across the vast Rhone River before the Romans could intercept him. The crossing was chaotic, with the panicking elephants causing several men to drown. And the first combat of the war occurred when small scouting parties from each side encountered one another. When Scipio finally caught up to Hannibal's position, what he found was an empty Carthaginian camp. Hannibal had slipped through his fingers. The Roman consul Scipio felt the weight of the situation. Quite unbelievably, Hannibal was going to cross the Alps into Italy, and the Romans had no idea where he would emerge. For the first time, a Carthaginian force had the Roman homeland under threat. Scipio sent his men onto Iberia as planned, but he himself rushed home to raise a new army so that if Hannibal survived the crossing, Scipio would be there, waiting.
Okay, thank God. I was like, am I taking crazy pills right now that they're just gonna let him do the thing? Nah, Scipio, good job, Scipio. Someone said fuck Scipio earlier. I don't know why. I can't wait to find out. But it seems like he's a smart fella. He's not a fart smeller. He's a smart fella.
Would you look at that, boys? We're here, the Alps. Although it is a little later than I expected. Yeah, it's kind of chilly. We'll set up camp here and wait for spring, right? It's way too cold, right? Hannibal? Hannibal's famous crossing of the Alps was brutal. It was already autumn, and the men suffered terribly. It was cold. Men would fall off the sides of icy cliffs.
Oh, Jesus.
They starved, They fell off the sides of icy cliffs. Some sources say they had to eat their pack animals and would finish off dying comrades in order to take their clothes for extra warmth. And then they would fall off the sides of icy cliffs. Imagine an army of 50,000 men with all of their horses, supplies, and 37 elephants trying to navigate the most hostile mountain range in Europe.
How the hell do elephants cross the mountains? This is amazing. We have trouble just getting normal people up mountains. Like, oh yeah, let's get this giant pachyderm that we have trained for war and just have it go up cliffs. Damn. I thought elephants were smart. If I was an elephant in this situation, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just sitting down. You can't make me. You can't. What are you going to do? You're going to drag me? I don't think so. I'm an elephant. Fuck you. No. You can still find the mummified remains today scattered through the Alps. That's amazing. Isn't it true that, like, the Mount Everest, you can find mummified remains of people who died on the way up there, and you can even use them as landmarks? Like, there's a guy who is called, like, Green Boots or Yellow Boots or something, and he died falling asleep towards the very top of the mountain because he was like, oh, I made it to the top, time to take a little rest, and then he died in his sleep. Like, there's someone like that. Imagine doing that, though. Imagine doing this. I can't. I wouldn't have even considered it. I would have said it out loud and would be like, no, that's a stupid idea. I can't do that. But Hannibal can do it. He's got the cojones to do it.
And it wasn't just nature that they were up against. Tribespeople lived in the mountains, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing.
Yeah, like literally.
Approached Hannibal and said, hey man, geez, that's some nice armor. What is that, gold? Man, I'd really...
Wait. Are you they're wearing... is gold plated, right? They're not wearing gold armor. Because if Minecraft has taught me anything, gold armor sucks. Because, I mean, it's not really Minecraft that taught me, because I do know that gold is very, very malleable. So I'm assuming it's gold plated. It would be terrible armor. That's not going to stop much. They wore animal skins. I'd rather wear animal skins than gold. Because gold is very, very flimsy to force, and it's very, very heavy. I'd much rather have animal skin because it's going to be lighter, better mobility, and it's going to keep me warm and whatnot. It's probably bronze. That makes sense because bronze, depending on how you forge it, can be easily mistaken to non-experts on it being gold, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it's gold is heavy and soft. It's the two worst qualities for armor. You don't want it. Even if it's going to be harder than something else that's lighter, you'd rather have the lightness, because also then you have better mobility and you're not going to tire yourself out.
Really like that armor. Hey boss, they've got food as well. Shut up, be cool. Hey, why don't you let us guide you through this narrow gorge? We're not gonna kill you or nothing. Just walk right on through there. We're not gonna kill you.
Yeah, gold is
it's
very
just
soft.
Right this way. We're not gonna kill you. Hannibal's army were forced to fight their way through the gorge as massive boulders rained down on them
Oh
from
my
above.
God.
Some clever reorganization of his line helped them survive, and they were able to fend off the opportunistic tribes. But losses from the constant attacks were heavy. As the journey continued, men who went over the sides would get stuck on the ice sheets below and had to make a grisly choice between starving to death or just getting it over with. When the deeply demoralized army reached the summit and rested for a couple days, Hannibal tried to lift their spirits with a rousing speech. Look, men, down there, it's Rome. These plains stretching out in front of you are bountiful with food to eat and Romans to kill. Move, Bessie! Look, you have just climbed the walls of Rome. The hard part is over. From here on out, it's all downhill. And nobody else will die. Except for them. The rest of us here, no one dies. Starting now. Okay, let's go. Oh, for goodness sake! As it turned out, the descent was as deadly as the way up, with the cold really starting to set in.
That's the thing about climbing mountains, is when you've made it to the top, you're like, yeah, I did it. That's only halfway. You have only done half of the work. It's very, very hard. Personally, I just wouldn't die. Good luck just not dying on the Alps right now. No, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. Nope. But once you're halfway, I guess he doesn't have to worry about like a mutiny, and I guess they really do like him as a leader because wow. I'm surprised that they didn't go like, we can't fucking do this. I want to go home. It's warmer and I'm not going to die and I'm not going to fall off a cliff. They must really respect the guy. Must really respect the guy. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to guess more than half of their army is going to be gone from this. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't even know. They started with what, 50,000 or something like that? We'll see what they end up with.
The path became even more narrow, and at one point, the men spent 3 days in the freezing cold repairing a collapsed road.
Oh my
When
God.
they finally reached the bottom, Hannibal said, "Look, guys, we did it."
And then they have to go and
it
fight.
went really well. When Hannibal left Spain, he had about 100,000 men. By the time he reached the Italian plains, his numbers had dwindled to about 26,000.
Oh my God.
He was now caught in enemy territory, without a supply line or source of reinforcements. And any elephants who had survived to this point were almost certainly traumatized. So what on earth was Hannibal up to? This supposed military genius had just led a starving and weakened army right into enemy territory. Any modern general who lost half their men to mountains would be immediately fired and possibly even depantsed on live TV. Here's the thing. While Hannibal may not have planned on losing quite so many men, he had almost certainly expected considerable losses, and he always had a plan for how to replace them. Need men? Northern Italy was full of men. Big, burly Celtic men. All the men Hannibal would ever need to beat off Rome. These Celts were filled with resentment.
Why did he have to say beat off? Why did he have to say beat off?
Having only recently been conquered by Rome. Hannibal hoped to be seen as a liberator, convince the Celts to cut ties with Rome, and instead join him in crushing Rome. That way, he could gain a source of reinforcements and supplies right in Rome's backyard. But sir, in order to win the loyalty of the Celts,
why is he
we would need
hula
to make
hooping?
a seriously favorable impression on them. How do we get him to like us? Kill them. One of Hannibal's first actions in Italy was to obliterate a nearby tribe who wouldn't join him. This sent a clear message to all the other tribes. It was his wrath they should fear, not Rome's. The realization that a Carthaginian army had just invaded them must have been shocking for the Romans. But when they looked at this ragtag group broken by the Alps, they couldn't have felt very intimidated. However, Hannibal was now in Italy, and he was about to embark on one of the most astonishing military campaigns in all of human history. The Romans may not have known it yet, but there was now a monster loose in their territory, and he was vying for Roman blood.
God damn. God damn. Like, did they not? Okay, we're gonna watch part 2. We're gonna watch part 2 in the future, most definitely in the near future. But like, did he not? Did they not just go right after him? We'll find out in part 2. But like, once they saw like, oh, look at how destroyed they are and everything, they should have hopped on that shit immediately. They should have been waiting near the border. I hope they are. Like, I already know how this is gonna end, where he's going to make it to Rome at some point. But like, this is like watching one of those movies where a tragedy is going to be happening, kind of like with episode 3 of Star Wars, where you know that Order 66 is going to happen. You know that Anakin Skywalker is going to fall to the dark side, but every single time you watch it, you're just like, I hope it changes. I hope things go differently. I really hope things go differently. And then, even though it's not, you're still hoping for it. This is how it is for me. It's like, man, are the Romans going to do something differently? He should really be taken out before he gets there. Should really be taken out. Like, wow. Okay, check out the picture of the elephants he used compared to modern elephants. Okay, I'll check out some pictures. Let's check out some pictures. But while we'll do that on stream, but just so for YouTube, this is the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed. Consider liking and leaving a comment of what you want to see in the future. We'll definitely be doing this part 2 very soon. And consider coming by the stream. I think I did a pretty good outro this time, don't you think, guys? But I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.